Starts right now.
It's just really upsetting. I want to feel safe here.
A disgusting crime just days after students move in.
Yeah, it was really scary, especially because that's so close to our building. Classes haven't even started yet. Why are things already happening?
How CU Boulder is making sure dorms and students are safe before the new school year begins.
Be vigilant, watch out for each other.
I just can't. I can't put into words how horrific this is.
New data from CDPHE shows who is getting monkeypox in Colorado and where the most cases are coming from.
And making sure diverse figures aren't neglected from Colorado's history books.
At the lower levels, it's not appropriate to bring in that particular topic.
We want to make sure that folks know it's important that LGBTQ folks aren't erased from Colorado schools.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. 3 days ago, students at CU Boulder moved into their dorms ready to begin the new school year.
And last night, the unthinkable happened. A female student was sexually assaulted in her dorm room by a male who knocked on her door to get in. Denver 7's Byron Wang joins us live in Boulder at CU's campus.
And Byron, the students you spoke with, understandably just horrified about this.
Yeah, they really are, and we've been seeing a lot of important conversations take place between students and parents after they learned about this incident. And right now, the sense I'm getting is that they're just really on edge right now because there is no indication that the student victim knew who the suspect was.
And it was like the first thing that I saw when I looked at my phone, and it was really unsettling, especially here on their first week at campus.
Incoming CU Boulder students received an alert of a sexual assault overnight at the Williams Village North Resident Hall located on campus.
The victim reported that someone knocked on the door of her residence hall. She answered the door. The person entered her room, grabbed her by the neck, and sexually assaulted her.
CU Boulder police only providing a vague description of the suspect, describing him as a white college-aged male with dirty blonde hair, about 6 feet tall, last seen wearing a gray or white shirt and sweatpants. Do you guys have a name?
We do not.
So you guys at this point can confirm you don't know who the suspect is?
I'm not sure at the very moment, but I do know that the suspect has not been apprehended.
Incoming freshmen telling Denver 7 purchasing textbooks, organizing school materials, and making new friends are taking a back seat on their priority list.
I feel worried about my safety right now.
I actually have a meeting for my floor meeting at 3 today. We're supposed to talk about it, so we're all kind of just heads up.
Parents helping their students to move into dorms, urging them to be vigilant.
They were just telling me, be safe, be smart, keep your head up.
Other parents just learning about the incident.
I can't put into words how horrific this is.
CU Boulder officials released a statement Thursday saying in part, "We understand that for members of our campus community, this may be impactful. We want to reassure our students, faculty, staff, and CU Boulder families that campus safety is our priority. Students seeking additional support and counseling following Wednesday's incident are asked to call 303-492-2277 for school resources."
I probably won't leave my roommate anymore. We'll go to do things together, and if we come back, we lock the door, not letting each other out alone at night.
For now, CU Boulder Police says they are increasing security and patrol here on campus, not just to keep an eye out for this alleged suspect, but really to restore a sense of safety that really kind of feels lost here. In the meantime, they ask anybody with information in this case to call the detective investigating this matter. That number's on your screen right now. We're reporting live in Boulder. Byron Wang, Denver 7.
Yeah, they better get to the bottom of this soon. Thank you, Bayan. And by the way, if you or someone you know needs help or you need someone to talk with, that help is available. You can call the number on your screen or you can text the word talk to 38255. You can also dial 988 on your phone to also be connected with a trained mental health counselor.
Right now, police in Aurora surrounding a home. This is 19th and Akron, trying to arrest a fugitive. A 38-year-old man inside the home has 2 warrants, including one for escaping from Department of Corrections. So police right now telling neighbors in the area stay inside and lock their doors until further notice. One of the teenagers accused of intentionally starting the house fire that killed a family of 5 in Green Valley Ranch will stand trial. 18-year-old Kevin Bowie pleaded not guilty to the 60 counts against him today, which include first-degree murder, arson, burglary. Just over 2 years ago, a Senegalese family, a toddler, a child, and 3 adults were killed in that fire in their Green Valley Ranch home. Bowie will be tried as an adult, despite the fact that he was 16 years old at the time of the crime. Well, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has been officially suspended for 11 games this season and fined $5 million for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy.
Now, Watson's been under investigation for months over accusations of sexual assault and harassment by more than 24 women. So to put this all into context here, by suspending Watson for 11 games, he will still be able to play in the necessary 6 games to earn a full NFL season. If his suspension was any longer, Cleveland would only have to pay Watson his $1 million base salary in 2023, I should say. So now Watson is all but guaranteed his $46 million base salary next season. He is also guaranteed $230 million in his 5-year contract with Cleveland. And as part of his suspension, the NFL says Watson must commit to mandatory evaluation and treatment. And the league and the Browns will also put an additional $2 million towards Watson's $5 million fine to create a fund to support the prevention of sexual misconduct and assault.
The Department of Justice has until next Thursday to release a redacted version of the affidavit that justified the search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. A federal judge said he's inclined to unseal some of that affidavit, that has been approved by the DOJ, and said he thought it could be made without hurting the investigation. And the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization has pleaded guilty to tax fraud. Alan Weisselberg admitted he failed to pay taxes on some $2 million of income. He could spend 5 months in prison. He's been ordered to pay $2 million in back taxes and penalties. He's also agreed to testify at the financial crimes trial involving the Trump Organization. That begins in late October.
Monkeypox is primarily impacting younger men here in the Denver area. CDPHE recently updated its Monkeypox, or MPX, database to include demographics like the age and gender of the 168 cases reported in our state. Well, more than 85% of cases are among men. Nearly 50% of those cases are people between the ages of 25 and 34. There are no reported MPX cases in Colorado for people under the age of 18. And today, the Biden administration announced an additional 1.8 million doses of the MPX vaccine will be distributed across the U.S. About 7,600 additional doses of the vaccine are expected to arrive here in Colorado in the coming days.
All right, now you're taking a live look at Bruce Randolph School in Denver, where Denver Public Schools is holding a job fair. More than 200 people have signed up for it, and DPS has a lot of positions to fill. Denver has 145 teacher positions open. It needs 160 custodians, 100 food service workers, and 100 paraprofessionals for this upcoming school year. Right now, Colorado State Board of Education is continuing to consider new social studies standards for K through 4th graders.
As Denver 7's Micah Smith explains, suggestions to add references to LGBTQ and communities of color has parents on both sides of the issue speaking out.
For several months, a committee made up of Colorado educators has been deciding what Colorado students from kindergarten to 4th grade should learn in social studies throughout the year.
We're trying to cram all of these things.
These are expectations for all kids learning in the state of Colorado.
The committee initially suggested adding more references to the LGBTQ community and communities of color. But after pushback from some parents and groups, the committee removed many of its initial recommendations.
The intention behind just some of the draft introductory matter had to do with an attempt to respond to some of the public feedback.
We went through the 154-page document and found examples of suggestions that were struck, like item C under evidence outcomes on page 27. The original document required specific mentions of important contributions African American, Latino, and LGBTQ Coloradans made to help change communities. But the red strike through the sentence means it won't be included, and instead, non-specific references to Colorado changemakers remain.
We want to make sure that folks know it's important that LGBTQ folks aren't erased from Colorado schools.
One Colorado Deputy Director, Garrett Royer, says his organization has been fighting to include LGBTQ references.
I don't think it's any different from,
fourth graders knowing that their teacher is in a loving relationship with a man or a woman.
At the lower levels, it's not appropriate to bring in that particular topic.
Pam Bonino with the Independence Institute says parents should decide when students learn about LGBTQ issues.
It's so crucial that parents are involved in children's education and that their personal family values be respected.
The State Board of Education has until November to make a final decision, and until then, Coloradans on both sides of the issue say they'll continue to voice their concerns. Reporting in Denver, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Prices have impacted a lot of things.
Gasoline prices are declining, but inflation remains painful for too many people.
Now that the Inflation Reduction Act has been signed, when will prices improve?
Warm and dry today, but changes are on the way with cooler, wetter weather arriving. I'll have your full forecast still to come.
And it's the end of an era for Avs faithful.
Star Nazem Kadri is moving on to another team for a big payday.
I mean, I've been waiting for this my whole life, so I figured I'd stop waiting and just try to join the party.